Hi, I'm Chris Raptis, Raptis Real Estate. Welcome to episode 4 as we await for the Reserve Bank of Australia and their decision as to whether or not they will keep the rates on hold or whether or not they will reduce the rates by 0.25 basis points. Now, it's been 9 consecutive months since the rates have been on hold. It's not good enough. The Australian people deserve more. They also deserve a 0.50 basis points reduction. So the 0.25 is clearly not good enough. I also don't believe that they will be passing, when I say they, the banks, the big four will be passing on those rate drops to the consumer. So what we will see is industry plants in the news today talking about how Australians are paying too much for gas and how we should be adopting American policy when it comes to legislation and our exports. Now, what they won't tell you, right, is that the Americans, when it goes to lending, have a fixed rate policy. So what the American consumer has a benefit of is knowing that they will be borrowing at a 3%, a 2%, a 4%, a 5% rate for the longevity of their loan. So why can't we implement that kind of policy in Australia? Imagine how much it would be easier for Australian consumers to know exactly how much interest they're going to pay over the life of their loan so they can work out their budgets, whilst every time they go and pay for groceries right now, they're paying as much as what it is to rent a home than what it is for groceries right now. It's clearly not good enough. I'm not going to sit here and be brainwashed by the jargon that I'm seeing in the media and the news at the moment, especially when I see that the occupancy rate in South Australia for hotels is at its absolute high because the government is housing families in hotel rooms, right? Because we have such a shortage of properties. When you've got clients like myself, clients of mine who are trying to build short-term accommodation properties to house families in crisis, yet they're not getting any rebates, they're not getting any incentives from the government to try and help these families. All they're doing is basically saying, build it and we'll think about helping you. Well, it's not good enough, right? And I think people now are starting to have enough. They're having enough of the inflation figures and how the fact that everything is just so expensive, and they're sick and tired of being taken a ride. And today is really a catalyst as to whether or not the Australian people are going to get what they deserve, which is a rate cut, and whether or not that rate cut will be passed on to the consumer. So I don't want to be negative. However, I don't believe there's going to be a rate drop today, and I do not believe that they will pass on, the big four, they'll pass on those interest rate drops to the consumer, and it's really not good enough. So let's see what happens. I look forward to reporting back to you on the next episode.